Bidding battle continues this morning. Anadarko Petroleum announcing it'll restart negotiations to be bought by fellow driller Occidental. Comes after earlier striking that deal with Chevron to sell its business. In a statement, Anadarko says the latest proposal reflects significant improvement in value, terms, and conditions, and closing certainty compared to previous offers. Occidental's offered 76 a share. Chevron has 65 on the table. David, how does this move the ball forward?
Well, it's significant, and it's a good moment, at least right now, for Occidental, given that they've gotten Anadarko to say, okay, we'll open negotiations. My understanding is they, by the way, have not yet spoken, but the expectation is that the two sides will. If you're, Anadarko, you want to understand certain things in terms of the deal, and it is potentially going to lead to them concluding that it is, in fact, a superior proposal. Now, Chevron has 4 days here to respond, it's unclear what their choice is going to be at this point. A couple of things to keep in mind. Occidental stock has held up very well. Certainly did last week. Far better than many had anticipated it would. But it will be interesting to see how it trades today and in the days ahead, now that the idea that they really could win this, at least, is going to settle on some of their shareholder base. And it's also interesting, again, Jim and I have said this, Jim said this many times, Chevron can pay whatever it wants and get this thing over with. The question is what it chooses to do. Does it choose to actually match or come up significantly, sign a new deal, or does it feel in some way that it was fully played out for it and therefore it's going to actually let Oxy take the asset? Unclear. Certainly can't share anything from my reporting that definitively says what they're going to decide to do over the next few days. But we are moving along here. Now, it is interesting that Anadarko, of course, chose not to accept this virtually same bid. It's only 10% more cash in the new bid that was made public by Occidental last week. But they were they were under some pressure from their shareholders, and I'll get that to that in a moment. We do have a few statements to share. Occidental says, we hope Anadarko will proceed quickly to securing the superior transaction for its shareholders. You can see that. That's from Occidental when we asked them for a statement. For its part, Chevron said the following this morning as well when we contacted them. We believe our signed agreement with Anadarko provides the best value and the most certainty to Anadarko shareholders. So we'll see what happens here. Jim, no shortage of shareholders speaking out. And I think that may have turned Anadarko's views in terms of, well, we've got to engage. It wasn't just Pentwater, which I shared last week. Harris Associates, Bill Nygren sending me a letter they sent. They're a 3% holder, basically saying the other day on Friday that it would be laughable to conclude that the Occidental offer worth 75 at its current stock price is not superior to the Chevron offer, which was worth only 61 at its current stock price. Harris Associates going on to say, we believe it would be ludicrous to stop the process now by accepting the current Chevron offer. So, be interesting Chevron decision here for Chevron, Jim.
Oh, really huge. I've got to tell you, I had Mike Wirth on, Chairman and CEO of Chevron last week. I spoke with some Chevron people this weekend. If you listen to that conference call on Friday, the conference call was about how we know that this thing's going to be fabulous. We can't wait. They're very excited. Talking a lot more about Africa, obviously LNG. They can do Mozambique. They know how to handle that. David, Chevron stock is up as if everything they said 3 days ago means nothing. I don't get it. How can people be so confident that they're done when at 9 o'clock on Friday they were telling you, let me tell you how this deal is going to close?
It would be very interesting if they truly were done. The idea that they just are going to sit at 65.
No way.
But you may have a better sense as to the strategic rationale and the strategic imperative they see. I think it's been made clear by Occidental, given the highly unusual decision by their CEO, Vicki Hollub, to actually go unsolicited here, that they clearly want and perhaps need this asset. I don't know as much about how Chevron views it, Jim. Do you?
I think they think that they can put up 10,000 wells. I've never heard a CEO be more bullish about a property than Mike Wirth was when I spoke with him. And look, he's a real guy. His orientation, when I say real guy, I mean he's not a salesman. He's an oil person. And, David, I've got to tell you, Vicki Hollub is one tough customer, but this was a done deal 72 hours ago. I just do not think that one of the most aggressive best run, with best growth, large major oil company is going to say, you know what, everything we said on Friday, I don't know. I mean, it was a long weekend. We thought about it. No, we're not interested. No. And that for Mozambique alone, David, they think that is an incredible property that nobody else can manage. Chevron is a hitter. And as much as I think that Vicki Hollub is great, and I met with her last week, I got to tell you, you think that the idea that Chevron's done? I mean, Chevron can go 5 more rounds, David.
Oh, they could.
They think the Permian.
They think the
Permian's is Saudi. They think it's Saudi Arabia. They think Permian's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well,
they think there's so much more oil there than people realize. And look, they know they drilled in the Gulf when everyone left after Macondo. They came right in. They are gutsy people, and they're not done.
Okay. Well, we'll see, and we'll know by the end of the week, Jim and Carl. And we'll keep a close eye on shares of Oxy as well, because that will play a role here. You certainly want to see how that trades now that it becomes, at least you have to say, more likely that they may actually end up the victor.